Have you ever had a chilling encounter during the holiday season? Picture a bustling shopping mall, decked out in glittering holiday decor, the air filled with the sound of jingling bells and children's laughter. Amidst this festive atmosphere, we meet our characters, a single mother, her face glowing with the holiday spirit, and her young son, his eyes wide with the wonder of the season. Their excitement peaks when they come across a man dressed as Santa, his hearty laughter echoing through the mall. His jolly demeanor and twinkling eyes seem to embody the joy and magic of the holiday season. The boy, entranced by the man in the red suit, tugs at his mother's hand, pulling her towards Santa. The mother, her heart warmed by her son's joy, obliges, a soft smile playing on her lips. But what started as a joyful encounter soon took a sinister turn. The man dressed as Santa, initially jovial and friendly, began to show a darker side. His rosy cheeks and twinkling eyes, which at first seemed so merry and full of holiday spirit, suddenly took on a more ominous glow. As the mother and her son moved on to continue their shopping, Santa's jolly ho-ho-hos morphed into a low, unsettling chuckle that seemed to follow them wherever they went. The man's advances towards the mother grew increasingly inappropriate. He would appear unexpectedly, catching them off guard, his red suit seeming to materialize out of nowhere. His comments, once filled with festive cheer, now held an eerie undertone that made the mother's skin crawl. His gaze, once friendly, now lingered too long, piercing through the festive crowd and making her feel as though she was the only person in the room. The mother, feeling a shiver of unease, decided it was time to leave. She grabbed her son's hand and they began to weave their way through the throng of shoppers. But the man in the Santa suit was not so easily dissuaded. He followed them, a looming figure in red, his jingling bells echoing ominously behind them. The mother and son walked faster, their steps growing hurried and frantic. The holiday decorations that had once seemed so cheerful now took on a sinister hue, casting long, threatening shadows. The mother kept glancing over her shoulder, her heart pounding in her chest as she saw the man still trailing behind them. His presence was like a chilling winter wind, nipping at their heels, making them feel exposed and vulnerable. Finally, they reached home, slamming the door behind them. The comforting familiarity of their own four walls should have brought relief, but the fear that had gripped them at the mall did not easily dissipate. Their relief of reaching home was short-lived when they discovered a chilling note. A note, chilling in its simplicity, proving that the man knew where they lived. The mother's heart pounded like a drum in her chest as she held the piece of paper. Her eyes scanned the hastily scrawled words, each one sending a shiver down her spine. She thought of her young son innocently playing in the next room, oblivious to the danger they were in. The reality of their situation hit her like a cold winter wind, chilling her to the bone. She could feel fear creeping in, wrapping around her like a suffocating blanket, but she knew she couldn't afford to be paralyzed by it, not now. The safety of her child depended on her, and she had to act. A decision was made, swift and resolute. She would call the police. The note, eerie in its vagueness, hinted at a threat without revealing too much. It was the perfect tool to keep the suspense alive. With the note in her trembling hands, she dialed the police. The police arrived, a beacon of hope in their night of horror. Swift as a winter wind, they swooped into action, their blue and red lights piercing through the darkness. Their presence, a comforting fortress against the fear, brought immediate relief to the terrified mother and her son. With soothing words and a promise of safety, they reassured the duo that they were now under their protection. The officers were as good as their word. They set about their task with determination, vowing to find this sinister Santa who had dared to intrude upon their holiday peace. And find him they did, ensuring that he would not contact them again, that their tranquility wouldn't be shattered by his disturbing presence anymore. As the days passed, the mother and son found their fear subsiding, replaced by the familiar warmth of the holiday season. The holiday season returned to being a time of joy and peace. But they would never forget the disturbing encounter with the sinister Santa.